Yo. So, again, haven't planned out what I'm going to say. I'm just going to see what comes out. But we've made it past day 2 of the $50 to $10,000 Bankroll challenge. I'm grinding real fucking hard, guys. I am really practicing what I preach when I tell my students to grind 10 plus hours a day, and I'm doing it as much as I can. I've got some life stuff to do today. I'm still going to try and get in a few hours on stream, but there's just there's too much going on, not enough time in the day. So we're up to $124, which is pretty fucking good for people that don't have any frame of reference. We've managed to 2.5x our roll in 2 days, and that's real good. The graphs have been pretty damn near straight up, and I've now moved up to 5NL, which has actually been quite a weirdly big adjustment from 2NL, and that's bad news for the PokerStars Zoom pools, because if you think about it, the bigger the gap there is between 2NL and 5NL, sorry, I'm taking a shower. The bigger the gap there is between 2NL and 5NL, the worse the games are in the pools in general. Because back in the day, 2NL and 5NL used to be like basically the same thing. Like everyone was just terrible. 5NL people just happened to have more money. I'm sure there would have been slight differences, but now there are just like a bunch of like micro stakes regs, and this isn't a problem for me, and it won't be a problem for the people that I teach, but I can see why it is real difficult for people that haven't had a well structured progression up the micro stakes to actually make it. And this is one of the things I'm going to speak about a lot, and it's one of the things I'm going to teach a lot. And when I get my website up and going, which is going to happen soon, by the way, guys, we're going to have a website. We're going to have a new team of people organizing the Twitch channel. We're going to have a new YouTube channel, and it's really fun being a content creator. It's not going to be like my long-term career or anything, but for now and the next few months, I'm going to go ham, and I'm going to go to that extreme. You know, it's real fun to go to extremes, and you learn things when you go to extremes that you would never otherwise have learned. So the thing I'm going to speak about is how to structure your poker career as you move up the ranks, what decisions you want to be making, how you want to be investing your time, and how to avoid a mix match of information, how to avoid bad information. Fuck's a lot of shit here. Run our fingers. And how to be thinking. And that's a very broad subject, but how to be thinking in poker, and also how to be thinking outside of poker. The mindsets you want to be having, and the thought processes you want to be having during a hand. All of those things, you get those topics brushed upon all individually. Actually, not even all of them, but like most of them individually within training sites. Like Run It Once talks loads about poker strategy, but then it has a mixed match of information because it's got like 1,000 different teachers. And then Upswing, I'm sure, speaks loads about strategy, but it's just not. It's GTO strategy. It's not going to get you very far in the micros. And then I actually haven't heard too many people speak about the external decisions that you need to be making. And I've realized by speaking to people in the chat that people don't have that kind of structure. And it seems counterintuitive to me. It's really tight, by the way. And because at the beginning of my career, I definitely had a lot of thoughts that went into it. Like, okay, do I want to play cash or MTTs? And I put a lot of them into it, and I came to the conclusion, I only want to play cash. I'm 100% going to play cash for now, because that is the bread and butter. That is learning flops, turns, rivers, deep stacked, everything like that. And now looking back, I could have made so many more life decisions as well. I could have ate more healthy. I could have done a lot of meditation. I could have exercised daily. I could have managed to do things to keep up my mental health, being in a positive mindset. I was lucky that I never really had too much of a negative mindset throughout the last 10 years of my life. So that wasn't too big a thing for me. But speaking to a lot of people again, it seems to be a really common denominator that people struggle with keeping positive, with not worrying about the future, with not worrying about the micro variance in their bankroll, and not tilting. And all of that stuff is handleable. Like when I first met Ben, he would lose like a $20 pot, let's say, when he was playing 10-0, and he would smash that knee. He would fuck that knee up, and Jesus Christ, it was weird to sit next to because he's really fucking good at punching. So he did martial arts, and I was like, what happened? He's like, just two-outed, you know? I was like, all right, that needs to stop. That needs to go. And it took him a while, but eventually he got to the point where he stopped giving a fuck, and we started training the way that he thought. And it's not just like, oh, I'm naturally just an angry person, or I'm naturally just a depressed person. It's no, you can really train the way that you think, especially to do with poker. And I'm gonna help people learn that. And now Ben is at the point where if he busts like 100k, and we can just laugh about it. It's just funny, because whatever, it's the game. It's just money. It's just life, whatever. And we're gonna get everyone to that point, or at least anyone that wants to get to that point can get to that point. I'm gonna help people learn how. The last thing I have to say is I'm proud of you guys. I gave options. I was like, yo, do you want me to just like coffee up 4 tables of shit? It's going to be less educational but more fun because you see more hands. And most people were like, no, actually, I'd prefer you to slow down, and I'd prefer you to play cash games. And this isn't the most fun option for sure. Playing 2-table Zoom, I'm not sitting here being like, this is a fucking laugh. Like, I mean, I enjoy it. I really do love playing poker. I love that every hand's different. You get a laugh I get a lot from just playing it, but also I like the talking aspect, and that can be fun. But really, the main point in this is that we're grinding together, and everything is a grind. And if you want to be the kind of person that can work your way up through the stakes, can become a professional poker player, and can make hundreds of thousands, maybe millions through poker, which, by the way, I'm not just showing that it's possible. I'm showing that people have said that how are you showing that the dream is alive by just playing and showing that you can win. And that's the thing. I'm not showing that I can win at the micro stakes. I'm showing that I can annihilate the micro stakes. I can crush the micro stakes, and I'm showing that the people that I teach can do the same thing. And they can win at a really high win rate. I'm not expecting people to be as good as me straight away, to be able to copy me exactly, because there's like a lot of stuff that needs to go into poker before you can get to this point. But I'm going to show you that how possible it is with such a large gap in between, to the point where you're absolutely crushing it and you're just beating it well to move up and progress. And I want to show people that the dream is alive. You have the capability. Almost all the people watching have the capability to do it. It's whether you have the motivation to do it. It's whether you have the planning to do it. And it's whether you implement the right strategies in not just poker but in your life. And it's whether you allow yourself, you don't allow your ego to get ahead of you and move up stakes, or try and take on like all the strategies at once. Like yesterday someone's like, well, you need to learn GTO and exploitative. It's like, no one I've met, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people, is smart enough to learn poker whilst learning all the different strategies possible and trying to just amalgamate them into this one conglomerate strategy. It's not a thing. You need to learn the fundamentals of exploitative style. Learn it, and then maybe once you get to the higher stakes where people are actually implementing GTO in a good way, then you can start learning GTO and start deviating your strategy based on that. But no one's brain is good enough to be able to just learn all the different things and just smudge them together. Mine definitely wasn't. I would get confused when I'd watch other people's strategy videos. That's why I barely watched any strategy videos, because I'd always come back from it being like, maybe I'll try a bit of that, and then no, but that kind of clashes with what I was doing there, and it would just fuck up. So yeah, I'm proud of you guys for choosing the more educational style. We're going to stick with 2 tables Zoom until we hit at least $150, which should be today or tomorrow, and then we might play some sit and goes, but we're not going to go crazy. We're not going to play anything crazy. And one other thing I realized, and it's getting kind of long, so I'll wrap it up after this, but people really wanted me to sit out and talk through hands and talk through my decisions. I'm not going to do as much of it as people may want, but again, I'm happy that people want that. It shows that people are here for education, not just entertainment. I do want to. I want to finish this challenge, and if I'm always stopping, that's not going to happen as much. But it does show that people are kind of hungry for an exploitative, intuitive, but rational way of thinking through hands, instead of like the generic way that people tend to speak through hands. I'm going to stop shouting, calling people out for this, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So I'm going to be making some separate videos, and I'll be posting them on YouTube / maybe my website, which is going to be made in the next week or two, hopefully. And it's going to be sick, and we're going to have a vast amount of knowledge out there for the people that want it. I'm going to create a lot of content before my life gets too hectic to create. And I know this sounds a bit off in the clouds, optimistic, but I honestly believe this. I can't wait for the messages I get in a year or so of people saying, "Oh my god, you turned my poker career around. I was struggling at the micro stakes, and then I watched all your shit, and now I'm beating the mid stakes," something like that. Or I'm playing live tournaments professionally because I managed to get a big enough bankroll. And I honestly believe that a lot of people are going to get to that point through the content I'm creating. And people that know me know that I wouldn't say this if I hadn't thought it through a lot, but I really do mean this. And that excites me. That really excites me, because poker's fucking fun. The lifestyle's awesome. It helps you work on yourself. It gives you time to spend with your family, with your friends, doing the shit you want. And honestly, in a society of westernized, industrialized work, that is just a diamond within the rough. And I really want to be able to give that to as many people as I can, because I've been lucky enough to have it. And let's do this, guys. We got this. Get our grind hats back on soon. I'll see you on day 3